The most important part of this run was not the start. It's what happened after the hard patch. What we're looking at today for this week's Parkrun progress report is my run from a Whangārei Parkrun number 461 back in September last year. I ran a 21:40. There's me there. Let's dive into things a little bit more. You can see that the few park runs I've done, there's an exception there. In Toronto, I did an 18, I think it was 55 back in 2017. That does not display in this results list. But Whangārei Park Run was my fastest significantly by, what's that, 26 seconds from a month previous to it. And I haven't actually gone faster, although I went close in Pegasus a few weeks ago. Anyway, let's have a look over here. So the course starts near the bridge, runs up and over the bridge, all the way out here, turn around, run back in, loop back round, out this direction before returning to the finish line. Now, this is actually a really well-managed run, one that tells the story of a runner, myself, who understood exactly where their current fitness is on the day. The headline for me, looking at this run, controlled early, composed through the middle, then properly committed late. And honestly, that's a very mature way to run a 21-minute parkrun. Pacing pattern is very solid. 4:24 for the first kilometre, 4:19, followed by another 4:19, 4:29, and then finishing with a strong 4:12. That's strong shape overall. What stands out immediately, there's no reckless opening kilometre, stable rhythm through the middle, one difficult patch, and then a genuinely strong final kilometre. That 4:12 tells us a lot. The first kilometre was deliberately restrained. That opening 4:24 paired with only an average heart rate of 135 beats per minute is really interesting. It suggests I was extremely controlled early, still settling into the rhythm, or simply refusing to overcommit too early. Because the jump from 135 to 164 between the first and second kilometre is enormous. That's not a gradual build. That's, okay, now the race starts. The middle of the run was stable, two 4:19s back to back, with heart rate stabilising, 164, 165. The power, 428, 424. And cadence stable at 86, 85 SPM. That's really tidy running and tells us good rhythm, efficient movement, controlled effort, and no emotional surging. I was essentially sitting right on sustainable type effort, threshold type effort through this section. The fourth kilometre is key, 4:29. Power drops to 408 watts, and this is the defining kilometre in the run. His heart rate stays stable at that 165. Cadence stays stable, but pace and power both fall. That suggests muscular fatigue, concentration, or slight mental dip rather than cardiovascular collapse. This doesn't look like I blew up. It looks more like things got tough for a minute, for a kilometre, which is a big difference. The final kilometre is the most impressive part. Now it says 4:11 there. Over here it says 4:12. It's probably 4:11.5. One rounded one way, one rounded the other. Heart rate rises up to 171. Power rises to 433 watts. That's proper re-engagement, and importantly, stronger than every previous kilometre, whether we measure by power or pace. In fact, by heart rate as well. That tells us there was still competitive intent left, and I had to really, really push hard on this backward leg back to the river, back to the finish line, which is also the start line. I still had to access another gear, and I was willing to hurt late. A lot of runners who truly crack in the fourth kilometre can't lift again. I did. Cadence, extremely stable, 85, 86 throughout. That's excellent. This suggests that efficiency held together very well, Fatigue didn't significantly disrupt mechanics. Stride rhythm remained stable even during the tougher patch. And that's a really positive sign. Power profile tells the real story. Power 414, 428, 424, 408, and then 433. This is fascinating. The final kilometre being the highest power output for the run is hugely important because it confirms the limiter wasn't total exhaustion. I still had the ability to produce force late. That's a strong sign of controlled pacing early, retained neuromuscular capacity, and good race management overall. What this run really shows, this wasn't an all-out reckless attempt. This was a measured run with a very strong finish. And honestly, those are often the runs that age best from a coaching perspective. Where the opportunity is, the obvious opportunity sits around transitioning into and through that fourth kilometre. Because if power holds slightly better there, or the mental re-engagement starts or happens sort of 500 meters earlier, I was probably looking at somewhere in the low 21 minute or even a sub 21 minute shape for the day. Key takeaway, a lot of runners are often the strongest runners are often the ones who can re-accelerate after a hard patch, not the ones who never hit that hard patch. That final kilometre is the biggest positive of this run. My overall assessment, and I might be slightly biased here, but this is best described as a controlled, intelligently paced park run with excellent late race commitment and strong underlying durability. My final coaching point for myself, the real strength in this run wasn't the pace early. It was the ability to lift again once the race got uncomfortable. So that's why my Whangārei park run is controlled early, steady through the middle, and finding another gear once the race got uncomfortable. And honestly, that ability to re-engage late is often what separates a solid park run from a really strong one. If you'd like me to break down your own park run or 5K performance like this, pacing, heart rate, cadence, power, and where your next gains can come from, you can apply for your own parkrun progress report at the link down below. Ka kite anō, and I'll see you in next week's video.